is area code 206-722-3000. That's 206-722-3000. And our website address for the follow-up written report is ufocenter.com. That's ufocenter.com, ufocenter.com.
And let's do this. Let's give them the P.O. box so that they can not only send you a little short email that they are indeed watching and listening and checking their reports on ufocenter.com, but maybe they want to send you a few dollars in the mail. What would that P.O. box be?
Yep, our mailing post office box for the National UFO Reporting Center is P.O. Box 700, 700, and that is in, ironically, Davenport, Washington, Davenport, Washington, WA, and the zip code is 99122, 99122. And if you just send UFO 99122, they know me at the post office so well, they'll probably get to me. But P.O. Box 700, Davenport, Washington, 99122.
That's right. And I tell you what, the only ufologist that I know has an entire town named after him, and they know him at the post office so well, they'll get the check to him no matter what. So thank you for that. And Peter, thank you so much for taking the time again tonight. These reports are fascinating, starting out in, Rockland, Massachusetts, going to South Carolina and Pennsylvania, and then ending up here in the Magnolia District in Seattle with a giant blue orb. Oh, my gosh. Things are happening so fast.
Yep. Yep, they certainly are.
Okay, I think we just got a little cross-wired there with our next guest who's coming on. So I'm going to let you go, Peter. I want to thank you very much again, and you have yourself a wonderful rest of the weekend.
Thank you, Michael. Same to you. Always enjoy working with you. It's always a pleasure to be on your program, and look forward to the next appearance.
All righty. Thank you so much. Good night. Wow. Okay. That's Peter Davenport from the National UFO Reporting Center at ufocenter.com. You've got to check out that database. It is just chock full of information. And what you should do is go there and then punch in, or go to your state and then punch in your hometown and see what's been going on the last few days or weeks or whatever in your neck of the woods. That's very fascinating. And, of course, that P.O. box, again, to send Peter a few bucks if you're interested, is P.O. Box 700, Davenport, Washington, 99122. That would be very nice for folks to do that if you could. All right. Well, listen, what I'm going to do next, I believe, is bring on my co-host for the rest of the evening tonight. My good buddy Kevin Beagle is a talk show host himself, and I am going to bring him on because I think he would do a better job of introducing our next guest than I ever would. So, Kevin, are you on the line?
I am. I just checked the volume here. Are we okay?
You're wonderful. Yeah, you sound very good and nice and rich. Got that radio voice of yours going. Thank you.
Well, yeah, no. The nice thing, the next guest that we're going to talk to is Ron Morehead. Ron is one of the still living people that we have around. That's a treasure. Has been researching for a long, long time. Ron, of course, is famous for the Sierra sounds that he has recorded and had interpreted, and it's so interesting to hear about his different journeys and as far as all of the different stages of evolution that he's gone through as far as research goes. The last time I met with Ron I was presenting at a conference in Bremerton with him, and he had just come out with his book, The Quantum Bigfoot, which is a fascinating book. I've read it cover to cover. One of the few Bigfoot books that I've done so. So it's an interesting thing, and I really like to talk to Ron about the evolution of his experience. But I don't want to put the cart ahead of the ahead of the horse, and let Ron explain that for himself. But are you there, Ron?
Yes, I are. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing really well. Was that a sound of a Bigfoot there? One of your recordings?
Yeah, I apologize. That was an accident. I opened up my laptop. I'm getting ready for a conference, and I was working on a PowerPoint program, and one of the sounds came on. That's
okay,
what you heard was Bigfoot.
I want to make sure it wasn't your belly rumbling.
Oh, that's fascinating. I'm excited to get into some of this stuff here, Ron. So thank you first, by the way, for being able to come on to Night Dreams Talk Radio tonight and be able to share with us what you're doing over all these, oh my gosh, what has it been, 40, 50 years you've been into this process of study?
Yeah, this will be my 47th year, actually.
My goodness.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just wonderful. Yeah, you got a nice, deep, rich bass voice coming through, so thank you for that.
Well, it's just the way it is. So,
yep.
Anyway, what would you like to know?
Well,
you great introduction. Thank you very much for having me on. I love talking about this. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about my newest book that you just mentioned because it's got a lot of good reviews, and I'm selling a lot of them, really, surprisingly so. It's kind of controversial, or was anyway, when I started out, but it seems to be getting its own legs now. So the aspects of these Bigfoot creatures, which I ran into in 1971, me and these other guys, this remote hunting camp in the Sierra Nevada mountains. It's been with me ever since then, and I've been researching it ever since. I want to know where giants came from and how they got here. So I went from thinking they're just an unusual ape running around the woods that hadn't been discovered to something quite different by now.
Matter of fact, anyway, Kevin, maybe you should jump in here as well, because Ron just kind of hopped into the area that you were interested in, so you take it for a while.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because when you had first experienced the Sasquatch up at your cabin in the Sierra Nevada mountains, had you been exposed to the Patterson-Gimlin film, which would have been kind of the latest thing, or was that even all that popular back then? Was it kind of a story that just kind of came and went? I know it's a big deal now. Everybody talks about it.
That's what it was then. I think I'd seen it because I was raised up in Humboldt County, and I remember coming out in the newspaper, but I was just a kid. And but it wasn't until 71 when I really thought, well, hey, there's something to that. It's not just a wild Indian running around in the woods. That's what they used to say in the paper, I think. Some guy got loose or something. But anyway, no, I wasn't. None of us were looking for Bigfoot up there. That's not what the camp was about. It was a hunting camp. It's 8 miles into this wilderness area, and a very imposing area to get to. And nobody else goes back there. So it was quite an eventful time. And it's still going on. Something's going on anyway. I was up there just this last year, and 2 years ago with something else. But I'm getting ahead of myself too. So,
well, yeah, it's an interesting, it's an interesting thing though, because your camp was kind of like a little fortress after a while, and I kind of wonder how you got into the idea that something was going on that wasn't normal. Did you see a sighting just right off the bat, or was it one of those things where you kind of got?
Since the 1950s, the Johnson brothers have been going up there since '58, I think it was. It was kind of their remote sanctuary, getaway hunting camp. Always a lot of deer, a lot of game up there. Excuse me. And anyway, these things came in around the. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cough. Came in around the camp and started making these noises. They're avid hunters, and I'm going to get through this, okay?
Take your time, no problem.
Well, time is an element here. anyway, they went out later. You got, excuse me a second.
You go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. Some blue UFO or something.
Yeah. Let's try to explain what the camp looks like. I've seen pictures of it. I've seen the recreation of it as well. And so this was like a log building that you guys had built up, and it was a sort of a hunting lodge, and it had tarps over it, etc. You guys were up there hunting, and so eventually, if I'm correct in that, started to hear sounds that were not normal in the way that they were, not like any other animal out there. And you knew it wasn't a bear or something like that. You guys were hunters. You were outdoorsmen. You were, just in case
Correct.
Anybody doesn't. Ron is like action man. That's what I like to describe him. He's a pilot, and he's if it's in the outdoors, he can do it. Scuba diver, and everything else. So you spent so much time out in nature, you would know the difference between a woodpecker and something knocking on a tree. So a lot of times.
Yeah. What really away those when we went outside and seen the track in the mud, which was, keep in mind, the camp's 8,400 feet. Thank you. 8,400 feet in elevation. So it's quite imposing. But when they seen the 5-toed footprint in the mud by the stove, which had been packed in by mules before, they knew then they was in for something besides a bear. And they knew from the sounds it wasn't a bear, too. So they hunkered down for the rest of the night. When they came out, they told the rest of us, and one of the guys, the other guys went back. I wasn't a hunter at the time. My wife's trying to get this cough out. I think she's going to cut my throat out, so be careful here. But anyway, I losing track here, but the Johnson brothers first discovered them when they came in after the food they left out on the stove. And like I say, they first thought it might be a bear, but then they knew the sounds didn't represent a bear at all. They're avid hunters. So what happened is when they came out and told the rest of the guys that were hunting, and they were all my friends at the time, and I didn't go back up, but one of the guys wouldn't go back up. I mean, he went up, and he got scared off. He wouldn't go back. When the guys were a day late coming out, the wives were all worried because they didn't know what kind of monster was up there doing this stuff. And they wanted him to go back up and see what was going on with the guys, and he wouldn't go by himself. So I was a friend of all of them, so they invited me to go, even though I wasn't a hunter. And I went up, and that was my first trip in. They showed me some tracks, and they all were just a day late coming out. That's all it was. So they didn't get eaten. They didn't get carried away. And that's what got me involved in it. And so I started going back just as much as I could. Every time somebody could get away, I'd go up there with them. And we all started recording. It wasn't until the winter of 71, this was all in 71, until Johnson's, Warren Johnson, who was kind of the leader of the group. He's passed away now, but he wrote a 23-page letter to Ivan Sanderson, a cryptozoologist. You may have heard his name before. He's now. Oh, yeah. He's written some books, and he sent the letter to a man named Peter Byrne in Oregon. You may have heard his name too. He's quite a researcher, and they both thought it was a hoax. It probably couldn't be nothing to it. But Peter had contacted Alan Berry, who was a reporter in Redding, California, see if he was interested in going down and talking to us. So he did. He interviewed us, and anyway, we ended up inviting him up there. So he went up in 72 and started recording these things. Look, I apologize. My throat just been giving me trips here. And he actually fostered the studies at the University of Wyoming, trying to get